Hello, it's week 6 of season 5 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is Barney's Bloodhound. Barney, tell us about your bloodhound.
I come rushing into the courthouse because it's almost time for the Leonard Blush radio show. And Andy and I are sitting there listening to it, but soon they break into the show to say that there's an escaped convict from the state prison on the loose. And so I turn the radio off. And Andy says the state prison is a long way off, and the state police are probably already after him with lots of men and radar and dogs and such, and it's nothing to worry about. And he wants me to turn Leonard Blush back on. And I say, I think we ought to be prepared just in case we come biz to biz with him. Look, Andy, I like Leonard Blush just as much as you do, if not more. But this is no time for Leonard Blush. Now we got a manhunt on our hands. And Andy still don't agree, so I walk out. And then I come back in later with a dog. And I say, you know what you were saying about all the things that the state police have? Well, this is not just a dog, Andy. It's part Bloodhound. It's an expert tracking dog. Well, don't you get it? This dog is going to lead us right straight to that criminal. And Andy says he don't think that dog could find his own food dish. And I try to demonstrate by letting the dog sniff Floyd's handkerchief and having him lead us to Floyd.
But after the dog walks into Floyd's barbershop, Andy and Floyd say, yeah, he just came in here because he was in here about an hour ago, and Floyd gave him a lollipop, and he's just in here because he wants another one. And Andy says, yeah, that dog will lead us right to the criminal, provided the criminal's traveling with a pocket full of lollipops.
And Andy and Floyd laugh at that, so I leave with the dog using a special dog whistle. But he don't seem to like that sound. And soon the state police do come by, and they talk to Andy, and they show him posters of the criminal, and they say he did come this way. And they ask Andy to check the area north of Mayberry, and they hear me working with the dog in the back room of the courthouse. And they say a dog might be useful during the search. And Andy says, not this dog, he's afraid. And they leave, saying, call us for help if you see him.
And then you come in from the back room saying the training with the dog is going well and you want to demonstrate to Andy. But Andy interrupts you and says the state police were just here and told us that the criminal is in the area.
And I say, this couldn't have come at a better time. This dog is going to be such a help to us. He's going to do the job for us. You want to see what he's learned so far? Watch this. But he won't come when I call him, so I use the whistle again, and he don't like it, and he comes and knocks us down. And we take him on the search, and Andy wants me to leave him in the car. And I say, Andy, our only chance of finding that guy is to let Blue smell him out for us. And I show Blue the wanted picture, and then I follow him. And Andy goes off in another direction. He says he don't want any part of this. And Blue leads me to a guy fishing.
And you start to tell the guy that's fishing to watch out for an escaped convict in the area. And he pulls the gun out. Turns out he is the escaped convict. And he tells you to walk in the direction he tells you. And then later Andy comes by that site and sees the fishing pole that he left and your hat that you dropped.
And the guy takes me and Blue to a cabin owned by the Ford family. And he ties me to a chair and starts cooking some food. And I ask him, how long are you going to keep me here? And he says, just till it gets dark. And then he's going to take me with him as a hostage. And later he falls asleep. And I get my hands out from behind the chair, although they're still tied up. And I try to walk out, but Blue darks and wakes him up. And the guy tells me to go back to the chair, and then he goes back to sleep.
And Andy had seen the smoke from the cabin, from the cooking, and he comes to the window and tries to communicate a plan to you, but you can't hear him through the glass, and you all mess up the plan, and you end up both getting taken hostage.
Yeah, the guy takes my clothes, and he dresses up as a deputy, and then he leads us to the car, and he tells me I'm going to have to lie down in the back seat, and he wants to know where the dog is. And Andy says, use the whistle in the shirt pocket and Blue will come right to you. So the guy does that, and of course Blue don't like that sound, and he comes running up and knocks the convict down so we can get his gun away. And I say, did you see that, Andy? Did you see that dog? What a dog! He got him. Didn't I tell you? Good dog. Real good dog. Had a boy.
And then you and Andy get locked in the jail cell later on accident with the convict locked in the other cell, and Blue's got the keys in his mouth.
So he used the whistle again to get Blue to come to us instead of to the convict.
Well, I'm glad it worked out well. We'll see you next week for episode 7.